It is yet to come online on this one. Uh, yeah, it is on. Yet to come online on this one. Okay, welcome all. My name is Manoj Patil. This is our Crux Talk session. This is our sixth session in this series. As you are aware that Crux Talks, we do every year only 7 sessions. Uh, this specifically talk is dedicated to related to technology and most related to the food processing sector. Today, I'm glad to introduce my friend and our guest today, Mr. Nevin Dadual. Uh, he is a food processing expert and also he has expertise in operation automation. He headed a lot of sales projects as well as global brand building, uh, partnership building, customer acquisition projects. Uh, with this, I would like to say a few words. I would like to request Mr. Navin to say a few words about himself, introduce himself, and also set a tone for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you and good evening. And thank you, Manoji, for giving me this opportunity and uh, setting up this session to interact on the topic. It's obviously a very interesting space related to automation today. So I have been in the industrial, I would say, industrial automation and industrial B2B business for the last 20 odd years. And my focus has been in the food processing segment. In the last 15 years, I have been working with the food processing, multiple types of uh, uh, food processing segments. And the core area has always been the automation. How do we automate processes and how do we automate workflows and things like that? So that has been an area of interest. Last, I would say, close to 5 years, I have also been actively been engaging with the seafood industry, mainly during my tenure at Introlox, where I was heading the India and South Asia region. So seafood was one of the key segments I was handling. Post that, I was also with CRUXZEN Food Tech, where we're mainly looking at business development and also identifying opportunities for automation in the seafood processing lines. So that's also now I'm also doing consulting work. Prime focus is on more on the operation side of automation. Also, we're looking at what we call as OT/IT convergence, where we are looking at how the operational side of technology can be integrated with the the IT side of things like ERP or any enterprise level platforms. So that's what is the interest area today.
Yeah, that's great, Mr. Navin. And I remember we met, I think, a couple of months ago, and I saw you were very enthusiastic with the refrigerator. And also, you mentioned something about integrating these machine tools with the software, with dashboards. So that
Yeah.
encouraged me to inquire if there is opportunity which we can talk together on live session. And that's here today. We are both talking about uh, something related to food processing, something related to technology on this segment. Uh, so I'll just quickly summarize this Crux Talk. Crux Talk we specifically started 4 years ago. Initially, we discussed something about our specific software which we are working with the seafood processors and food processor to feed, to demonstrate its features and its how we converted those challenges into the software solution. So that was the agenda. Later on, when we start getting inquiries about from our participants that why don't you help us about some other technologies? Why don't you help us about how the machines are connecting or how IoT is working? So that encourage us to bring in the experts because we are the expert from the software background, but there needs to be someone who has authenticate information to discuss on the platforms like LinkedIn and YouTube. So we get we like you today. We always invite the experts on our talk show and discuss about few topics. That's remind me our discussion related to this seafood. So, in your experience, have you ever seen related to seafood processing how the technology are helping people all across world, or maybe at the end maybe you can describe about how it is helping the Indian scenario, how it is working with the processor in India.
Yeah, it's a very relevant topic today because I think we most of the even say seafood or the food processing industry per se in India is really evolving, and it's really growing at a very fast pace. If you look at the the number of small and medium size or even large investments that are coming in the food processing side, they're quite a quite an impressive number. And also the companies are also looking at exporting and expanding their market beyond India. So that really calls for much higher level of compliances, much higher level of quality, and also the speed at which they can turn around. So these all these things really are key drivers for the automation. So again, here I think India per se has already Indian manufacturers have already been using various digital tools, or I would say the digitization has already started happening. And they're already using equipments with PLC or SCADA systems, and so they are capturing the data for sure. So that has been there. But then, what is lacking today when you compare with the global players or international food processing companies or even the larger organizations? What lacking is using this data in an effective way to optimize their processes. So that's where the digital transformation thing really comes into play, or things like smart factories or process automation combined with real time decision making. So all those things are really I would say a culmination where digitizing a system, and then you looking at how do you use that data to transform your business process itself. So that's what I think the phase that I think Indian companies have to move towards now. There are very few. I would say there are definitely companies who are doing it, but then in the food side of things, relatively that's not happening at a very fast pace. The other industries have adopted this in a very I would say effective way. Food industries are still catching up, but in the level of automation, I would say yes, there are many large uh, food processing seafood companies who have adopted in international world class technology, both from a process automation point of view. Now, how effectively are we using these data points that is coming from these digital operations? How that can be utilized into effective process control or improvement, or improvising the operations overall, is something that we need to to really closely work with companies and develop that.
Yeah, certainly that is true because we are working with many of the sea processors in India, UAE and USA region. So what is our observation is initially there is little reluctant to change their way of doing, but we have seen that there when they start using digital platform to I mean, digitize their operations, seafood business or food processing business. So that time we saw that they have almost reduced their workload. We have got the comment sometime that with the features available are so easy in the software, and that reducing their repetition of work, reducing their repetition of producing data at one place to other place, and then that reducing their overall workload. So it is helping them to come up with the doing quality work as well as giving accurate result. What is my take on it on this is also like uh, when the global competition is up, as well as domestic, as well as the backward integrated type of business where the competition is also up. Like the raw material is also on high demand, as well as the from the global standpoint, there are a lot of buyers are coming in and come with their material in the market. So that gives an opportunity to any connected software platform or any connected operation management or automated platform which can help uh, food processors to understand what they need to purchase, how they need to purchase, how it is effective, how it is how the costing is going to be, how the workability is going to be, and then definitely it result into their finished goods and what is the cost of the finished good. So these are very ground level reports which we can see, and we have uh, uh, always experienced these kind of comments coming up from our customers saying uh, software works when only when it is customized to their needs. Because if any of the technology, then there are a lot of technology available also. In our case, there are a lot of softwares available too. But if those softwares are asking them to change their way of processing or way of operation, what they have set for the years, then it may not work for them. So what they prefer is like if the software is working as they are working today, if there are some customization required, that is required, and as they need to accommodate their operation changes or processes in the software. So definitely technology plays a crucial role here, but I mean, the approach towards implementing the technology is also very important. As you may know that we did one of the analysis where one of the uh, our friend wanted to connect some machine tool with the IoT devices and create a dashboard. Okay, so that is true. I mean, any food processing companies or the management of the food processing companies are willing to do that, but they need to see the result like really going to help them optimize their machine. One, second, it is really going to give them good ROI after optimizing a machine and after giving good production yield. So that is very important. So approach towards implementing technology is pretty much important. Uh, I know
Just
when
to
you are, yeah, please.
just to add on that point, I mean, also these automation or let's say digitization processes should also be linked with, the human side of things also needs to be considered. I mean, what is also happening is until unless the people who are going to use these technologies, if they are not on board or if they are not trained well, the you still the effectiveness of this implementation or the kind of digitization that we are talking about might not result in real end results, might not be in line with the expectations. So that angle is also important in terms of making the users understand on the entire the chain of events that are connected, and how this data or this information can really be effectively utilized for improving their day-to-day work or improving their processes.
Yeah, to very specific to that, in seafood case, there are variation as per the different region where they operate, because that business depends on what raw material they are purchasing. So, if I give an example where our some of the customers from wherever their operation is different than some of the customers who are from Odisha or West Bengal, because the way they see costing, the other people in the other side may not see it the same way. They may see it different way. The day they do processing, the other people may not doing processing.
Yeah.
As you rightly said, the approach and the adaptability to the technology is very much important here. Uh, But tell me, this bringing this new technology to the food processing world is going to solve many problem, or are we going to create many problem for them?
Sorry, I didn't understand. What is
This
that?
bringing these technologies, new technologies to food processing sector is going to solve their problems, or are we going to bring many problems for them?
No, no. I think, see, as I said, a typical case. Let's just talk about the same thing that you mentioned. Like, the processors, seafood processors in the West Coast, let's say Veeraval or Navi Mumbai side. So the material that is available for them is like, the catch, based on the catch available, or the material that is landing can be throughout the year, can vary. So you can probably be one day they're talking about shrimps, the next day it can be squids, or it can be octopus, or some different types of products they have to keep managing. So the automation, for example, that what CF Tech did in a lot of these cases is that the IQ of processing line that was designed for these these manufacturers who are handling different types of product on an everyday basis was a system which can automatically adjust to the kind of product that's coming. So you don't need to stop the line, and to make complete settings has to be changed to accommodate a different product. And so what the technology was basically to accommodate a automated lifting duct mechanism, which on a fixed recipe you can just choose the what kind of product you're processing next, and the PLC automatically gives instruction to mechanically move these systems to accommodate different products. So you continuously run without stopping the line and accommodate different. So that flexibility you have to give it to the manufacturer. So as you rightly said, I mean, the technology then, or the automation that we are trying to bring in, has to address the specific need of the processor, and we need to very clearly understand what are the pain points that we are trying to address. So that is important, and then that is probably the starting point. Now you gradually you take it up to that the information, the data that is flowing in from various parameters, like what material is coming, which grade of material is coming, what is the demand, or what kind of orders are there in the pipeline. So you should be able to kind of align your production planning. You should be able to align your machines, your refrigeration system. Everything should get aligned to that kind of requirement. So those things are done today, but very manually. There are people have to kind of move a lot of things here and there, or they have to plan these things much in advance. So any automation that we are thinking has to kind of give the flexibility to the manufacturer in accommodating any changes in the external environment, or the demand, or the availability of material. So that flexibility we have to provide, which is, I think, a lot of companies are doing it, and that's the way to go.
Okay. You rightly mentioned one thing about refrigeration. So, in your view, recently have you done any upscale? I mean, where the lot of technology is involved while implementing any refrigeration system to the food processing industry. Have you done any such?
Yeah, yeah. So see, I think especially in seafood or any frozen food segment that we are talking about, refrigeration plays a very, very important role. So the refrigeration, like as you know, I mean, almost like every seafood processing line would have a cold storage, or IQF, or a blast freezer, or a plate freezer. So they're pretty energy intensive operation. So some studies suggest that almost like 50% or more energy cost is actually on account of the refrigeration system and the freezer system. So so it's very important to manage that the energy utilization there, and also how do you effectively run your line. And end of the day, if the refrigeration is not adequate, or the refrigeration is not consistent, your product also output is also impacted. Your product might have lesser shelf life, or it can have drip loss, and a lot of other issues uh, pop up if the refrigeration is not proper. So to address those issues, what we did is we have brought in CO2 based refrigeration system. So the industry in India, at least, they're more focused on ammonia based systems or freon systems. But in globally, the market has already moved away from HFC based systems to natural refrigerants, where CO2 as a refrigerant is being used. So that technology we first time in India we brought in with the collaboration with the European collaboration, and now we are completely building it in India. So this system can give you a consistent refrigeration is very consistent in this. It is at least 30% operating cost is at least 30% lower compared to the other refrigerants, and also it's very safe to handle. So those things can really help in optimizing your production, getting a better product out, and also this is more or less like an automation that you are doing to improve your processes. So that is something that has already been implemented. There are multiple installs now in India. Cochin Food Tech is already building these systems here in India now. So yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, so what I mean, the small part we have done in the software is like, as you said, refrigeration is very important in any food processing in business. And also, the operational part of it, we try to configure the refrigerator or IQF machine or plate freezer as the resource in our ERP, so that we can produce the expense of those resources as against their production, what they have done for the time the expense occurs. So we can straight away show to the customer saying this is effective or this is not effective, or this is how it is going through your production as well as the expenses on particular resource. So not only this with the refrigerator, but the most of the resources which are physical resources in the plant, those are configured in our software. And definitely at present it is the data captured through manual reporting, and it is reported to software, and then software generates various different report against the production or against the various process done in the production. One part which I have also seen is like uh, technology used in aquaculture, where many of the pond which are there, they are now controlled through IoT devices and well managed software. Their machinery is also controlled through the software. Also, their what you say, the uh, feed processes also through software. So when it comes to the pond management, there are now I'm seeing many of the new startups are coming up with managing the pond. Have you experienced similar kind of technology advances in the aquaculture side?
So I'm not directly involved in the aquaculture, related projects or in automation. But then I've heard from some companies, generally startup companies who are coming up with technology where they monitor these ponds and how they can optimize the harvest. So globally, the trend is now that they need traceability of these products right from the farm to the plate. So that's become very important. So knowing each and every batch or lot that is under harvesting or under aquaculture control is very important. So because as you know, I mean these shrimps particularly, you're concerned globally. There's a concern about antibiotics and concern about diseases and viruses. So all that traceability of these products across the value chain is very important. So that's something that I've heard how people are using satellite imagery or even looking at geospatial sensors to monitor these. Once these are harvested, then again the other side of things is like how quickly you freeze it, or how do you quickly secure these products in so that this can be preserved for longer duration. So that's something that where we come into play. So once the product is let's say is brought into the production processing area, the idea is that can freeze it. So there are globally a lot of discussions around how do you even freeze the product right directly after the farm. So once you catch or let's say once the harvest is done, you immediately freeze it right there on mobile, freezers. So that's an area that companies are looking at. Also, in terms of one of the important things with in terms of shrimps particularly is the grading. Because once you receive material, the processors receive material from multiple farms and multiple sources. So one is like it has to link back to the farm from which the product has come. So the traceability is important. And then also you need to grade it because each grade has different value. So mixing of grades and mixing of ponds. So those are all very crucial for the processors. So we have come across a project in Andhra, a very large shrimp processing plant. They wanted to have absolute traceability of from where this product is coming, which grades are being processed. So they have we have installed a system where they're complete grading. After the grading is done, then you have to feed it into the deheading lines. So multiple deheading lines are fed automatically. You weigh each batch is then transferred to a respective bin from where, as per the demand of the deheading line, they pull the material. So every line, you can actually take a report on how much material was processed on each line, and from which batch was this material, what grade, which farm has supplied, and how much was the output or the yield. So all that data comes out from the entire line, right? So that's almost like you're connecting the farm to the final processing line. So again, technologies like, I'm sure that you are already working on these things, like technologies like blockchain, where you can actually control on each stage, that what is the process being followed, who's been responsible for the process, all the compliances have been met. And so that visibility is very important to the global buyer. If there is any European or an American buyer who's looking at sourcing these products from India or from Ecuador or Vietnam, one of the important things that they will look at is that the traceability and making sure that the product doesn't have any viral load or any antibiotic or overdose and all those things. So those things are becoming very, very important, and that will define the way you are competitive and able to supply to the global market. So connecting all this to a system-based thing where all this data has been traced and documented, tempered with, and also you have complete visibility of your supply chain. That those things are really important today.
Yeah, so you're right. So traceability is one of the crucial part when it comes to food processing and food products or finished goods related to the human consumptions. And definitely, this USA, Europe, other countries are also going to give a lot of weightage to the product which are traceable to its your source. To this, what we have done, we have created one of the mobile application for our. That application is given to the suppliers who are providing raw material to our food processor or the seafood processors. So that what it does capture of geolocation from where they are purchasing the raw material or from where they are harvesting the raw material. Also, on the aquaculture side, there is a process called booking of the harvest. Like they need to book the harvest before they harvest the material. So that also incorporated in our system with the geolocation tagging of the pond as well as the from where actually the material is being harvested, and with it is connected to the GPS location of the vehicle which is carrying that material up to peeling shed or processing unit. So this traceability plays an important role. Definitely, the industry is also coming up to address this challenge. This I have seen earlier. Before that, it was very challenging to give connect each and every sector in one traceability code. But nowadays, it is happening. Definitely, they are also coming up with the quality product rather than only sending bulk product to some countries as a raw material. So here, people are coming up with the quality value-added product to send it to the Finnish retailers throughout the world, and I think that is going to help. Like the technology is going to help there to get them going as they need to work on the compliance part of the traceability. So I think that is our time is up to 5:30. So what we will do, we'll see if there are any question from the participant. I'm not sure. Participant, you can put in a chat box for the questions. Thanks for the traceability. So, Mr. Navin, I think there are no questions. So, what I would like you to summarize your stand on the technology, how it is helping, and definitely we discussed that, like how it is helping and what are the challenges can be addressed. So, just a quick summary from your side.
So I think from as I mentioned to start with that companies are already looking at digitizing their processes. So only having let's say a system or a process where you are so those data has to be effectively utilized to improve your process, or you have to transform your business model where everybody's aligned to how do the data can be utilized more effectively. So wherein tools like ERP or warehouse management or data infra layer, all those things are going to be handy in terms of managing these data and making sense of this data. It's basically the data and information you have to use it. Yeah, so it has to kind of be an insightful thing which can help you in taking the decisions, an informed decision. So that is where I think we can help in bringing a platform where all the data that you're already digitized and the data that is already coming in can be utilized in automating your processes, workflows, and your visibility of the complete processing line, and how your business is doing on a real time basis. Those are, I think, going forward will be very very important to sustain in the global market and also to be more competitive compared to the global players. So that's an area where we can come in and bring in relevant insights and tools to help you to achieve those goals.
Yeah, great. So, from my side is like it is like. Uh, Yes, technology is evolving. It is helping businesses to uh, automate their operation. Two major point I would like to mention here is one is adaptability of the technology, because today AI is available, but there should be adaptability with that, and with this with the effective for the business operation. Like if adaptability is there, but if the technology is not helping the operation, then it is not useful. So both these two aspects are very important uh, for the technology coming into seafood or coming into food processing industries. Uh, on this note, I would like to thank Mr. Navin to joining this meeting, this call. Uh, And I also appreciate the live audience who have joined our LinkedIn and YouTube today.
There
Thank you
are
very much.
just before we close, there are some questions that have come.
Oh, okay. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you please read out? I don't see
Yeah,
it.
so there's one question which is how the digitization will impact in India in next 2 years.
Okay. Great.
What should we look to change to take advantage of it? Maybe you can start with
Yeah.
how is
So
it going to impact India in next 2 years.
it is very great question. Last 10 years, I am working with this food processing industry. I have seen the change from one layer to other layer. So after COVID, we really saw the shift going. And then what I see today, a lot of adoption is coming, like technology adoption is happening there. Uh, Everyone wants to go to the software, or everyone wants to have some automation in place to uh, monitor their operation, or digitize their business. Next 2 years, I am seeing that it will be connected with the IP-based tools in the processing sector. I have already, when we have already partnered with one or two or three uh, companies who are giving those services to connect the tools to the software, publishing data to the software. Up to, I mean, till 2020, till 2030, I see this food processing business completely automated like any other business in the pharma or automobile section, where everything is going through without touch, it is going to, and that the results are also coming up. One other challenge to this is day by day, what I see today is food processing sector. It is like today is a labor intensive way of doing that business. But day by day, that labor is going to be expensive, or the operation is going to be complex, and then you need machineries to work on those operation. And definitely, they need a software platform to address those changes. That's what my take on this.
I think on the what should we look to change to take advantage of it? I think I just cover a few 2 points there. In terms of our approach towards automation and in the entire digital transformation for at least for the food processing industry, specific to let's say seafood or frozen food segment, I think we need to really focus on the what processes need to be automated. We are still a very manpower dependent, or there are a lot of human dependent activities are there, especially for products in the frozen segment, where food, particularly when food is concerned. So you need to have less contact, less people handling the product, or processes which are much more let's say efficient and streamlined. And at the same time, all this you need to also be competitive. So my advice, or the change that we should look at, is definitely identify those bottleneck areas, or identify those processes which you feel are core to your business, but then you are not 100% efficient about it. Those are the ones that we should quickly automate, or use digital tools and techniques to make sure that you are able to produce more productivity is there, and also more a profitable operation is there. And one of the key things is the data. So until unless you don't have the data on how are you producing, how much yield you're losing, or what is the kind of quality that you're delivering. So those data are important. So how do we identify what data to collect, how to collect that data, what are the right sensors, or the field devices that you should use to capture that data, and how that data you can actually convert it into useful insights, dashboards, or let's say automation softwares that can help you in automating those processes and make insightful decisions to correct it. So in if you, I mean, these references are already available in other industries. I mean, if you look at automotive industry, or machine tool industry, there already companies are already using this machine level data to optimize their processes. They can pinpoint on when certain things are going wrong, when they should be changing their tools. So all those predictive analytics, helping to forecast things much ahead and take corrective measures beforehand. So those are going to really help in the coming years. So I think that's where I think you will need identification of what process to automate, what data to capture, and how to utilize that data for effective decision making. So that's where I think you should focus.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Are there any more questions? You
No,
see?
I could only see two. Yeah.
Okay. So again, thank you, Mr. Navin, to join this call.
Thank you,
I'd
Manoj, for
like
the
to.
for coordinating this and giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to appreciate our viewers also for patiently listening us and giving this opportunity to this Crux Talks. Stay connected. We will come with the last session very soon for the discussion regarding the technology on input processing. Thank you so much and have a great day.